One.
Oh, hey guys. How's it going? A lot of people get caught up in this whole idea that you have to start, you got to wait until the right time, the right moment to start. And I'm here to tell you that that's a myth and a mythical unicorn. There's no such thing as the right time to start. Sometimes you just got to get out there and do it.
Wow. Start what? Anything.
Start anything. Start your business, start your side hustle, start
Anything.
learning to play the piano, whatever it might be. Learning to speak Spanish.
Or anything you want to do. Like you
Anything
just
you
have
want
to
to do.
start. You can just start. I think as silly as that sounds too, really, if you really want something, if you just start trying to do the thing, just by starting and trying, eventually you'll just be doing the thing. And then by the time you've completed a task, you can't sit there and say, well, I you can't say you didn't do something that you did. At that point, then it's just like, well, you've done the thing. That's called experience. So how else do you get experience? You do it by starting something.
Yes, get started.
So with that being said, one thing I'll say is if you check out the cloudunderground.dev website, one of the things we've been doing is helping people start their own whatever you're starting. Well, I don't know what you're starting. Are you starting a business, a new minimum viable product? Usually, someone's starting something in association to what we do.
And if you're not sure what to start, a lot of times we recommend starting with a consultancy because that just leverages your own ideas.
Yeah, and so the thing to check out is the RPG of Life Incubator. If you check that out, it's just a free program. We've decided to. We always try to have a thing that lets you basically build a goal of your own without breaking the bank or without needing to actually spend anything. Now, business, unfortunately, if you're trying to start a business or something along those lines, is not free. There's that saying, it takes money to make
To
money.
make money. That's
But
right.
you can at least learn the stuff that we do, whether you want to pay and work with us or whether you just want to do everything yourself without us. You can check out the RPG of Life Incubator. It doesn't cost you anything. You can set up an account and you can just start making something.
You can even join our community and be
Yes,
a member of our community, and it doesn't cost anything. You can
and
find out how in the RPG of Life Incubator.
that's right. So in the RPG of Life Incubator, one there's an interesting thing about how did we start is we go all the way back, and I was trying to tell the story prior stream, uh, but we had some unforeseen circumstances.
Yes.
So now that we are getting back into our story, how did we start? How did we start all of these things? We actually have this cloud platform that's one.
Oh, hey guys. How's it going? A lot of people get caught up in this whole idea that you have to start, you got to wait until the right time, the right moment to start. And I'm here to tell you that that's a myth and a mythical unicorn. There's no such thing as the right time to start. Sometimes you just got to get out there and do it.
Wow. Start what? Anything.
Start anything. Start your business, start your side hustle, start
Anything.
learning to play the piano, whatever it might be. Learning to speak Spanish.
Or anything you want to do. Like you
Anything
just
you
have
want
to
to do.
start. You can just start. I think as silly as that sounds too, really, if you really want something, if you just start trying to do the thing, just by starting and trying, eventually you'll just be doing the thing. And then by the time you've completed a task, you can't sit there and say, well, I you can't say you didn't do something that you did. At that point, then it's just like, well, you've done the thing. That's called experience. So how else do you get experience? You do it by starting something.
Yes, get started.
So with that being said, one thing I'll say is if you check out the cloudunderground.dev website, one of the things we've been doing is helping people start their own whatever you're starting. Well, I don't know what you're starting. Are you starting a business, a new minimum viable product? Usually, someone's starting something in association to what we do.
And if you're not sure what to start, a lot of times we recommend starting with a consultancy because that just leverages your own ideas.
Yeah. And so the thing to check out is the RPG of Life Incubator. If you check that out, it's just a free program. We've decided to, we always try to have a thing that lets you basically build a goal of your own without breaking the bank or without needing to actually spend anything. Now, business, unfortunately, if you're trying to start a business or something along those lines, is not free. There's that saying, it takes money uh, to make
To
money.
make money.
But you can at least learn the stuff that we do, whether you want to pay and work with us or whether you just want to do everything yourself without us. You can check out the RPG of Life Incubator. It doesn't cost you anything. You can set up an account and you can just start making something.
You can even join our community, be
Yes.
a member of our community, and it doesn't cost anything. You
And
can find out how in the RPG of Life Incubator.
that's right. So in the RPG of Life Incubator, there's an interesting thing about how did we start is we go all the way back, and I was trying to tell the story prior stream, uh, but we had some unforeseen circumstances.
Yes.
So now that we are getting back into our story, how did we start? How did we start all of these things? We actually have this cloud platform that's like a cloud for building cloud technologies. It's a little confusing, but how did we ever even start doing any of these things? One day, we had this idea that we could build what we've created by spending 3 years teaching cloud by building our own cloud. And that started not with just ideas, it actually started with people because I was actually running a different company. It was called Notia Point. And as I was working through Notia Point, we had met Randall. If anyone has been following us for a while, you can say hi to Randall. If you check out any of our communities and stuff, you'll inevitably meet Randall. And he was like, hey, this is really interesting stuff. I have this idea, and you want to talk? And I was like, that sounds awesome. And then together we were like, what if we built a cloud by teaching cloud? And then that became a thing. So our first ever customers of the program, a business doesn't just like fund itself. You actually have to go and get real customers, and then you have to try to figure out how to support those customers and help those customers succeed with something.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if our idea was to teach cloud by building cloud, those founders actually did go and start doing their own things. And so, actually our very ever first like paying customer before we ended up with many more down the road, but you got to start with numero uno. Actually, is building their own initiative. So you can check out Jorge Abalo. And so, how did we start? We started by helping someone else who was ready to start. And usually, you have to be the one who's ready to start. And we started the DevSecOps Dojo as a community to teach cloud by building cloud. And we had this idea that one day we would have these things that became like, if you join the RPG of Life Incubator, you'll see our cloud, you'll see everything about it, it's got all the details. You can go and build a cloud. Hey, but we didn't just like click our heels and poof, all of a sudden there's this
Cloud.
there's this business. Yes. And so Jorge actually worked really hard, just like a lot of other folks worked really hard too. But since we're focusing on like, how did we start? Well, that first member like also had to make their choice to start and take a risk on like a company like us who was new at the time, because once again, everyone's got to start somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And then as he's building his own resources now, as we've built all of these tools that we have with our community, that founder, Jorge Abalo, so you can check him out, and you can check out Lit Cloud Canada. That's LITT, and then Cloud in Canada. That is a company that is being built and founded by like the official original member of like who we started building with. So, anyways, we're gonna make some
We're gonna make some space here.
some art or make some fun, yeah, things on the whiteboard here. So, yes, thanks for putting that on the screen. and you can check him out on LinkedIn, or you can join our programs. You will inevitably find the projects we're working on as a community blockchain project. And so, really, anything that we started, we were just like, well, what if we just start doing like building the thing by teaching the thing? And boom, suddenly, 3 years later, and lots of resources later and
Oops.
stuff, we ended up with all the things. And so now, we have more people building, and you can join us and build in the DevSecOps Dojo. Once again, join the RPG of Life Incubator to learn all about how to get more involved with our stuff. If you don't start there, it's generally very confusing. So, how did Jorge innovate? So, we're going to be talking about this blockchain project quite a lot because it wasn't just like something like I know that there's lots of talk about like blockchain this, blockchain that. But ultimately, one thing about technologies like blockchain is regardless of what you care about, like things like cryptocurrency, not all blockchain is actually cryptocurrency and some is cryptocurrency. There's a lot of things you can do with blockchain. There are even different types of technologies you can build. And so if you're trying to, get involved with the vast community and start building like skills of like working around people, and it's really all about the people and you're building up your skills, you know, Jorge wanted to make it so that more people could come together with their own ideas to make bigger ideas through community building. And that's why blockchain, it's in some ways it's not the same culture as like open source culture, and in some ways they collide. It really depends. But
Out the first step of it.
yeah, so oh yeah, so ideate.
That's right. 88.
Yeah, so how did he ideate? Because then he innovated. I mean, it was all just an idea first for Lit Cloud Canada to become an idea. It was just something that, like, well, it would be nice to do that, but he still had to start, which he did.
Mhm.
And so he didn't ask for anyone's permission to start or ask if he was ready to start. He just came in, got the information that he needed, asked for the information that he needed from us, and then just started making something happen. And that's exactly how a business is built. And so if you're trying to found a business, that's what you can do with just that. You just have to do it. There's not a convenient time and there's not a right time.
That's right.
uh
There's never a right time.
yeah, and so I guess, Laura, how would you say he innovated, since we've kind of talked a little bit about that, but where's the innovation? Because instead of just building a company and building, say, like trying to build like some cryptocurrency or something, it's much bigger than that. Like what?
Yeah, well, I think part of the way that he's innovating is by, seeking kind of outside help and seeking, this community involvement. And yeah, I mean, you can talk more if there's like technological things that he's doing to innovate, but
I think you said it.
yeah,
It's like
it's
making
that
it bigger
community
than
involvement.
himself,
Yeah.
because like technology is technology. It's like, it's one thing to, build a tool or build a technology, but it's a whole nother thing to be like, whoa, well, what if this is a vehicle to like connect with other people, like a vehicle to like build skills with other people, come up with new ideas together, and then like build commerce together. If you're building like blockchain, whether you use cash mediums for certain exchanges or whatever, maybe you're building a blockchain based tool or building a cryptocurrency. Like in Jorge's vision, all of it is welcome, but it all requires community and it all requires people to come together, and, not just one person, but people also like learning how to like own their own ideas and be the captains of their own thinking.
Hmm.
And so, like, if you're into that sort of a thing, you can come join us, like, and just be a part of our communities. We just Everyone in our community just kind of talks about what they talk about and does with whatever they're doing. They're always doing something. You just ask them, what are you working on? And there's some very ambitious folks always working on so many things. So check out Lit Cloud Canada. And you can come check out the RPG of Love Incubator to learn how to get involved with our communities, and
Yeah,
ideate, innovate, and transform
that's right.
with our community.
That's right. I think we got a couple more stories to share, right?
We do. So,
Yeah.
what's
So next
our
we're going
next
to
story?
talk about Raymond. Raymond has started a company called C3S. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about what Raymond's doing. So as far as like ideating goes, Raymond realized that there is very little room for anything if all that you're doing is trying to survive. If you're just focused on survival and like your basic needs, you don't really have time to like think about building a business or think about, anything besides just like like minimum survival. And so, one thing that was something that was like really impactful for him is like if we can help people get out of this cycle of poverty or get out of, being trapped just essentially trying to just stay alive and get to a place with a little bit more stability, then people will have the ability to create better lives for themselves. And so Raymond created a is innovating essentially by creating C3S nodes using the Underground Nexus. He's innovating on the open source technology that we've created to start his own enterprise, which is C3S. And so the nodes, I think, are essentially, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Nathan, but I think they're essentially to help people just connect to resources that would help them create skills and give them higher level skills to be able to get out of these like cycles of poverty, essentially build higher level skills such as like AI development and cybersecurity to essentially be able to build better futures and in that way, transform.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. So you know, that's going to be another ongoing one. So we're going to follow these stories. So these stories are going to evolve as we go. So stories from the underground. If you want your story to be told, you can come and get involved in our community as well.
Yeah, and I also just want to say that we're talking about these stories. You're going to be hearing about these stories, and our next story that Nato's going to talk about in just a second. The other intent with all of this is to get these people on so they can tell you their stories themselves. So that's definitely something you can look forward to in the future, and a reason to follow us every Friday as we'll be doing these streams.
Yes.
So Nato, tell us about Michael.
All right. So now that we have talked about the community initiative and we've gotten to learn about what Raymond's doing, one of the things that anyone is able to do in the DevSecOps Dojo is if you've never built your own software before and you just want to come and learn how to build like an application and maybe you want to learn how to license it, if your goal is to build and license a Git-based software application, you can join the DevSecOps Dojo at any time, and we accept. You just basically join the RPG of Life Incubator if you want to know how that works. Same thing. Join the RPG of Life Incubator, and you'll learn how do you build a new minimum viable product. That's one of the things that we focus on. So anyone can start a new minimum viable product. All of this still, like, you can either choose to like pay for certain things to get some knowledge, or you can just use our resources and DIY it all for free. On maybe you don't need our other knowledge. So all of our tools are available for you to use. That's the stuff that doesn't cost you money, uh, regardless of how much it costs us. But anyways, use those tools that we fund for free to build businesses, build minimum viable products. So Michael is starting a new. Right now, he has a white paper that he's turning into a full-on software product for Zoom bookings. So basically, I'll have to find the best way to describe it. Let me actually just take a look at it. So while I'm looking some things up, I want to talk about the story that it took for Michael to build that. So anytime someone's trying to build a project that they're recruiting for, you can join this project right now. And if you start your own, we will tell your story and help you recruit for your project. But you can come and start helping build a workspace reservation system. That's right. It's a workspace reservation system that works with Zoom, and it will automatically help you schedule. And if you're trying to build like business turnkeys or something along those lines, This is just an open source project. This could help speed up your workspace reservation rules if you're building some software of that sort. Michael did choose to make his software application open source, and you can check out his repository. Uh, Once again, check out the RPG of Life Incubator to learn how to join our communities. This is all in the DevSecOps Dojo, where all of this stuff is happening all the time. You can join that project if you are trying to do that. If that's going to be valuable for you and your company, or it's just interesting, once again, just an open source project you can, or if you just want some experience and you never built some software before and you're like, hey, I know nothing about software at all, and I want a way to just start doing so. Hey, just start, right? You don't have to know
That's
much about
perfect.
software to just start. You just go find something like this where you don't need to have qualifications. You just come in there and start asking questions. We have entire sandboxes that you can start learning in, and it's no risk on any of us for you to just come in and start smashing some stuff. That's what we actually build our resources for. So if you have absolutely zero experience with software, this could also be an outstanding opportunity to just come in and just have an excuse to just start. Just start doing it. You don't even have to go to school to start. I'm actually serious
Just
right now.
start.
Yeah. We have lots of resources because we're also partnered with GitLab, and because we're partnered with GitLab, you can come and use a lot of things. So anyways, so Michael, in order for him to have come up with this idea, he initially was just sandboxing himself, and he, didn't know as much about software as he knows now, and he just started working with containers and started building
Mhm.
his own container sandboxes. And so he kind of took the concepts that we had and uh, put his own background and experience to it and started tinkering around and just asking questions and asking, well, how does this container work this way, or how does that work with that tool, or how can I use Docker, how can I use Podman? Just ask. And there's that saying that if you ask, you might get an answer. Well,
Is
because
that
Michael asked, he got so many answers that he now has built his own software
more
program.
answers than he knew what to do with?
Yeah, because he was like, "Well, I want to build software," and so that was his idea. How do you? You got to ideate somehow. He wanted to build something, so he's like, "Well, everyone needs to Zoom, and if you're trying to schedule and you run a business, like, wouldn't that be nice?" And so then, in terms of innovating, he's like, "Well, I now know how to use these things. I know how to build workspaces. I know how to, you know, build some software that works with containers and different things and AI, all these things. By the way, there's lots of AI everything going on in the dojo. So if you want to learn so much about AI that you can start hosting your own machine learning, that's more stuff that you can join. How do you join the DevSecOps dojo? Just check out the RPG of Life Incubator. But anyways, then now he's transformed all of that thinking into an actual usable product and project. So anyone can join that. It's open recruitment. So check it out.
Yeah. So that's the other beauty of the DevSecOps Dojo is there's lots of cool projects happening. If you have an idea that you want a little help on, want to network with some of your peers, bounce some ideas around, it's a great place to come. And if you want to learn how to join, go join the RPG of Life incubator and you'll get all
Yes.
the details how to join our Discord community.
Yes, and to join the RPG of Life Incubator, just go to our website at.
Cloudunderground.dev.
That's
Yes.
right. Amazing.
All right. Well, I think we've shared some exciting stories. Come back next week
And we will
for
have
more
more hot salsa
hot salsa and some
for the bacon.
inspiring stories from
Yes,
the underground.
that's right.
See you next week.